Hello and welcome to another optics trade review. I have Steiner Ranger 4 2.5 to 10 by 50, a brand new rifle scope here today, the release of which was officially announced today, April the 6th, 2021. And this is really big news because the Ranger is one of the most popular rifle scope series in the field of hunting at around 1,000 euros. But before we say a few more words about this particular rifle scope, I would like to start this review with some words about the company and how this series came to be. Steiner is still one of the biggest producers of binoculars in Europe, but they're quite new when it comes to rifle scopes. The first rifle scope that they introduced was Night Hunter. I think this was around 8-9 years ago. And they went straight for the premium class where there is a lot of competition and a lot of rifle scopes made by traditional optics manufacturers based in Europe. So Night Hunter didn't sell that well, even though it was a really good rifle scope for the price. Then I think that Steiner went for a smarter, better move in 2015 when they introduced the Ranger series. They placed it in between 900 and 1,200 euros, and in that price class there wasn't that much competition from the renowned European manufacturers. And as it was a decent product for the price class, both optically and mechanically, it soon became popular among hunters. At the time, their biggest competitor, I think, was Zeiss Conquest DL, which was then followed by Conquest V4 line of scopes in 2018. There were also some other manufacturers, Minox, Dr. Noblex, Dr. which renamed to Noblex a few years ago. But no other traditional rifle scope manufacturers had a real competitor at around 1,000 euro price point. So Steiner, this was a clever move by them to place the scopes in there. And now after 6 years, this popular series of rifle scopes has finally received an upgrade. We have here the Ranger 4 rifle scopes, and we can basically refer to it as the second generation of Ranger. They also released the Ranger 6 series earlier this year in 2021. This is probably an indicator that Steiner is also trying to break into the premium class yet again in the field of rifle scopes, and that is a series with 6 times zoom factor, a little bit more expensive than this model here. We have individual reviews on those models, you can check them out. Moving back to the Ranger 4 and to this particular model, this is the 2.5 to 10 by 50. This is the all-round hunting model in this Ranger 4 series. We also have the 1 to 4 by 24 driven hunt scope, 3 to 12 by 56, a Twilight Specialist, and the 6 to 24 by 56 intended for long-range hunting. Now the 1 to 4, 2.5 to 10, and 3 to 12 models are basically of the same configuration as the ones that were in the Ranger series. 6 to 24 is quite new. This is basically no surprise to me because the 6 to 24 is a really popular magnification range, and combined with a 56mm lens which gathers plenty of light, the rifle scope is really great in terms of long-range hunting. What I don't like as much is the lack of the stalking model. So the 2.8 to 42 was a rifle scope designed for stalking, and it is no longer in the Ranger 4 series. It might become available in the future. And the 4 to 16 to 50 by 56 is also gone, but the replacement for it is definitely the 6 to 24 by 56. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, let us take a look at the mechanical improvements that the Ranger 4 2.5 to 10 by 50 brings. If we take a look at the magnification ring and the diopter ring, if you use the old model and this model both at once, you will notice that the magnification ring and the diopter ring move much smoother. This gives it a more premium feel, definitely. And also the turrets now produce crisper clicks, and the clicks are further apart from each other so that you can better feel them better. The same applies to the illumination turret on the left. If you use gloves plenty of times while shooting, you will definitely be fond of these upgrades, as you will feel the clicks better and it will be easier for you to set everything accordingly. The Outer objective diameter is also different from the previous model. It used to be 58 and maybe 58 millimeters, maybe a little bit more, 58.4. Now it's 57.5. So why am I saying this? This is because if you use a thermal or digital attachment for mounting on the objective, you will now need a different adapter. It is important to buy the adapter that fits perfectly on the objective diameter, and I think it's important to point the difference out. The new models are somewhat longer than the old ones. Now I don't have the old model here, but this one is around 1 to 2 centimeters longer. They also redesigned the reticle. If we take a look in this instruction manual, where you can find it, it's right here. It's still called 4AI, so 4A illuminated. But now there is a fine dot in the middle instead of the intersection of lines. There used to be an intersection of lines, and then when you turn on the illumination, the dot illuminated behind the intersection or at the intersection. Now the dot is separated from the lines, and when you turn on the illumination, the dot of course illuminates. It's a little bit different. Some will be fond of this design, some not as much, because the Ranger 6 series does feature the same reticle design than the old Ranger. The Ranger 4 now has a different design. I also noticed that the illumination is not as daytime bright as it used to be on the first generation, even though the illumination turret is still divided into the section for the daytime use and for dusk time use. The dot, however, is really finely adjustable for low light conditions, also for when there is not strong daytime brightness, but only I would say standard brightness. But if you want to use it in strong daytime, you will have some problems seeing the dot. Okay, now, 11 levels on the illumination. This is same as it was on the previous model. What I also like, and what was also there with the previous models, is the off switch between each individual level. So if you have a favorite illumination level, you can just quickly turn it off and then back on. You don't have to turn the knob all the way. This is a great thing to have. The turrets, they produce really crisp sounds when turned. They're standard hunting turrets, capped, low profile. They can also easily be reset to 0, like so. So really simple. 1 click equals 1 centimeter at 100 meters, so we have 0.1 mil clicks. Altogether we have 14.5 mils of elevation, and we have 60 clicks in 1 revolution of the turret. The chassis is now a little bit different. It used to be, it's still black, but it's now a tad more glossier compared to the previous generation. This is due to the scratch-resistant hard anodizing that covers the body of this riflescope. It also gives it a little bit more elegant look. Then we have the reticle position in the second focal plane, typical for this type of all-round hunting riflescope. It weighs 620 grams. It is 34 centimeters long. Nothing out of the ordinary, so pretty standard for an all-rounder. It is filled with nitrogen, so even if you like to hunt in winter or when it's quite cold outside, you will not have problems with internal fogging. It can withstand temperatures all the way down to minus 25 degrees Celsius. The housing is really rugged, and this is nothing new when it comes to Steiner. Their devices are known for ruggedness, and as I said, the 2.5 to 10 by 50 from Ranger 4 is no exception. The Ranger 4 series is designed in the US, so it's made in the US. Many people think that it's made in Germany, but it's not. So both the series are, this one and the previous, have been made in the US. It has a 30mm mounting tube. Now with the Ranger 4 series, some models will have the rail mounting option in the future, namely the 3 to 12 by 56 and the 1 to 4 by 24. The 2.5 to 10 by 50 and 6 to 24 by 56 for now haven't been announced with the rail option. They might be in the future. The rail that those two scopes are going to have is size ZMVM, and they will be 100 euros more expensive. For this model, currently no rail option. It comes with 10 years of warranty, and even if something goes wrong with your Steiner Riflescope, you can always count on them repairing it for you, because Steiner has a great reputation when it comes to service. They have one of the best service departments in this industry. That is definitely something worth pointing out. What about the optical improvements if we compare this Riflescope to the previous generation? Well, they do come with somewhat wider field of view, I would say 5 to 10%. At 2.5 times magnification, this Riflescope provides 16 meters of field of view at 100 meters. It also fares slightly better in the dusk when compared to the previous model, and so the field of vision and the light transmission rate are improvements that we can apply to the whole Ranger 4 series. The first Ranger was already one of the best devices optically in this price class, and the second one just follows its example. The image is sharp even on the edges, and there is no tunnel effect, and the colors are really lively. I would say that even if you compare this to the previous generation, the colors are maybe even a little bit more livelier when compared, if we compare the second to the first generation. The parallax is fixed at 100 meters. In the box, which looks pretty much almost the same as the previous model, so the previous generation, only that there is number 4 now here side. So you get it in this box, which is nicely padded on the inside. It comes with a basic standard bikini cover for the protection of lenses. Then we have the instruction manual available in many languages, also with the radical subtensions here. And of course, a lens cloth to clean your lenses of anything that shouldn't be on there. The price is around 1,030 euros, and as the rail mounting option is for now hasn't been announced, this is the only price. There are no other prices, so if the model with the rail does become available, it will be 100 euros more expensive. I would really like to say that the flip-up covers are a great accessory to buy if you plan on using this Riflescope a lot, because those flip-up covers have been incredibly popular for the first generation models, and they're easy to install, and then you don't have to remove them. So I would say it's great to invest in them. Okay, now that we're getting towards the end of this video, I'd like to point out the advantages and disadvantages of this Riflescope, at least the way I see things. So if we start with the pros, I think that the mechanical upgrades do lift this Riflescope on a whole new level. It does have a more premium feel to it, so the magnification rings is smoother, the clicks are crisper on the turrets, further apart so you can feel them better, and etc. Optically, this Riflescope is still one of the best at the price point of around 1,000 euros. Image is sharp edge to edge, there is great color fidelity and contrast and so on. And I also like the increase in the field of view and a better light transmission rate, as we found out on the test. What about the things I think could be improved? Well, the most notable one is this lens cover, which I think doesn't really do a Riflescope this good justice. This is why I encourage you to look at the Steiner flip-up caps that are available for this model. You just simply put them on, and then you just, because of they're the flip-up type, you don't have to remove them all the time, and they protect the lenses nicely and look elegant. What I think that some people might not like is the new radical design. So it's still 4AI, as I said, but it uses a dot in the middle instead of the intersection of the lines. Also, the illumination is not as daytime bright as it used to be. However, I think that this is all up to the user preference, at least the reticle design, that is. And of course, some might say that it's only 4 times zoom factor, but if zoom factor was to be increased, the optical quality is usually compromised, so you have to make up for the optical quality in other areas. So you have to use more advanced glass and so on, and it usually lifts the price. So to keep this riflescope with this good optical quality in this price range, 4 times zoom factor is probably the most optimal option. Thank you guys for watching this review. I think that if you're searching for a great hunting all-rounder in the price range of around 1,050 euros, then the Ranger 4 2.5 to 10 by 50 is a great option. The second generation definitely brings many improvements that will surely convince even more people into purchasing one of these. I'm sure that these are going to sell like hotcakes, just like the Ranger series, the first generation. Okay, thank you for watching. If you found this review useful, leave a like, subscribe. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Check out our other videos on Steiner Riflescopes, and take care. See you next time.